By Likens, heading to second, and sliding in safely is Benson. That's something we talked about with Michelle. Soft dirt on the infield or the outfield. Foreign to these players as well. They'll have to learn the bounces, and that one just went over Likens as she overran it a bit. Runner in scoring position for the River Mocs. As we head back to the top of the order with Claire Ginder. Singled back in the first, but was knocked out on a fielder's choice. Claire Ginder, incoming freshman, going to Furman out of Tampa, Florida. Played on the U.S. U17 national team last summer. Team that won gold in the Pan Am Games down in Colombia. Hit 400 for that squad a year ago. Furman getting a good one. Off the hands and a chance for two, maybe a bit too deep there to try and get Benson. As Flaherty makes the play. Two down, runner on second for the two-hole hitter Mac Leonard. River Mocs trying to tie this one up with a base hit. Lays down a bunt, trying to take advantage of the odd infield. No play for Danny Bauer. Runners on the corners here for the River Mocs. Nice play by Leonard, knowing that this infield's trying to learn the lay of the land and making Danny Bauer have to make a choice. Benson at third. Leonard at first. And a strike in to Emily Erickson. Erickson struck out to end the first inning. Looking for a big hit with a runner in scoring position. Hard foul, watch out if you parked over on the left side. We do have another game going on right now. Over on field 2, we've got Fast Pitch U versus the Impact. Fast Pitch U has been off training on their own this week, so first time a lot of us have gotten to see them since players started arriving in town. That one right back up the middle. And over the wall, a 3-run shot for Emily Erickson. Second home run of the day here on field 1. And the first for the River Mocs. 3-1 now. Miaka City with the lead. Here's Jenny Jansen. First pitch all the way to the backstop. Jansen singled back in the second frame. 3-1 now River Mocs. Top of the third here. Now we'll see a meeting in the circle as the head coach Lindsay Fico comes out. Also the head coach over at Santa Fe College. 2020 her second year out at Santa Fe. 16-14 before the year was over. Ended with a doubleheader sweep over St. Petersburg College. Also alum of the Florida Gators. Closed her career playing for the legendary coach Tim Walton, said that her goal the first couple games was just to try and figure out the pitching rotation. See how this team works well together. Now we'll see how Danny Bauer responds after giving up the long shot. It's a 1-0 count to Jenny Jansen. Nobody on. 3-1 River Mocs, top of the third. That went right in for a strike. Jansen at the plate. As we've talked about, member of the Southern Illinois Salukis, member of the Missouri Valley All-Conference preseason team going into 2020 after that first team-like season in the MVC in 2019. As we talked about with Michelle, just came on for the Salukis when it mattered most. Hit .669 in the NCAA tournament, and the Evanston Regional had a .727 OBP. Batting 1,000 here in the FGCL. That went into the crowd. Two and two count now to Jansen. Out to right. And coming in to make the catch is Overitis to retire the side. But a big, big inning for the River Mocs. And it's 3-1 Miaka City. And now we'll see if the Bradenton Lynx can respond. So we head to the bottom half. Gray Robertson here. If you want to get in on the conversation, tweet us at outofthebox_pod if you want. Let us know where you're watching, where you're listening, if you're going on a jog perhaps. However you're taking in the first games of the FGCL and its inaugural season, let us know where you are. Maddi Davis back in the circle for the River Mocs. Interesting day for her. It's been a bit of an adventure. You've seen 2 strikeouts. You've seen a couple walks, a hit by pitch, but then induced a double play on a ground out over to third in the previous inning to strand the bases loaded. And now her team is giving her the lead. We'll see what she does with it. Facing the 10 spot in the order, Hannah Famiano. First pitch high to Famiano. Junior last year, played at Eckerd. Really fantastic 2020 season for her. So that one fouled off. Hit .406, 3 doubles, 7 ribbies, a .415 OBP, and also has speed, 7 for 9 in stolen bases. Famiano out of Tampa, Florida, trying to turn the lineup over. 1-1, bunts it down. Tough play. Got her. Nicely done by Erickson. Having to play the tough dirt and retiring Famiano on the ground out. That does turn things over to the top of the lineup. And here's Morgan Overitis. Last time she was up, it was a solo shot. The first of the year for the FGCL. See how Davis pitches to her. Nice change in for a strike. Hard foul there. 1-2 now. The 1-2. Waits on it. Out to left. And settling under it and making the catch is Turgo out of Western Kentucky for out number 2. To the 2 spot, and Michaela Frazier with nobody on, and that one grounded just foul. Frazier, the incoming freshman, headed to Elon out of Lakeland, Florida, back in the first. Popped up over first base. Lynx trying to respond after the River Mocs got 3 in the top half. Out to right. And nicely done by Benson to retire the side. Gray Robertson here, and also joining me in the booth. If he wants to come on, he can. Executive Director Ryan Moore, who helps spearhead all of this, the baseball thing. Not too rare, but the softball side of it, this is pretty new for the current era that we're in, and it's a lot of fun to see these ladies finally get to play each other.
You know, Gray, it's exciting. It's really exciting. You know, I'm more on the baseball side of things coming from, but like I said yesterday, the softball has just taken off, and real excited to see these young athletes compete at such a high level. It's really awesome to see them. So proud that we were able to get to this point, and just watching these athletes do their thing is pretty special.
I'm not sure what's going on the other field, but over here it's 3-1 River Mocs as we head to the top of the 4th, and we've seen some bombs. I don't know what's going on field 2, but it's good to see the power make a showing here early.
Yeah, you know, I was just over there, and it was a close ball game, a lot of runs. I think it was 7-4, 7-5,
really?
Something like that. Yeah, early.
I'll have what they're having.
Yeah, a lot of offense, which is, good.
Well, Danny Bauer back out in the circle. Headed to the top of the 4th. It's 3-1 River Mocs. The 3 coming courtesy of an Emily Erickson 3-run shot in the previous inning.
So how special was Michelle Smith?
It was everything I could have hoped. And I told her, as everyone should, you are welcome to come back anytime you like.
She's a rock star.
Yes, and just to kind of turn this into a question about getting her here, how did you get her here?
Well, about a year and a half ago, when we came up with the idea that we were going to do softball on top of our baseball, collegiate side, I knew she lived in the area, in the Tampa Bay area, so just reached out to some friends who knew her and, set up an opportunity to meet with her, and we talked about it. She just said that it would be an awesome opportunity and special, for women's fast pitch college softball. So I told her, fasten your seatbelts, we're going.
First pitch in to Erickson to start off the 4th inning. Comes in for a strike. Erickson singled back in the 2nd. That one low. I'm not sure if we have an official scorer or if I'm going to have to determine errors and base hits. Don't put that kind of pressure on me.
I'm not. We actually have Game Changer going on.
Okay, great.
So in this particular game, right below you, there's Game Changer going on. Unfortunately, here at the Palmasola Park, the scoreboards do not work. So that's a little bit of a deficit there, and we apologize about that to the fans. But we just we couldn't get the county to come out here and fix the scoreboard. So but the fans can go on and the Game Changer app and select their favorite team, follow them.
That one way out to left.
Wow.
And gone is, that one is crushed by Kaylee Erickson. And the River Mocs continue the power party. It's 4-1 now here in the top of the fourth.
Big hit. She crushed that ball.
She did. Representing the BYU Cougars. And that's the second Erickson home run we've seen. Emily Erickson had the 3-run shot in the third, and now her sister with a solo bomb out to left center to make it 4-1.
BYU showing strong.
Yes. West Coast Conference represent, and because of that, we're going to see a change in the circle for the Lynx. And the new pitcher for Bradenton is number 20, Lauren Hobbs. Different kind of look here. She's a lefty. Incoming freshman going to Stetson next year. Calls Bonita Springs home. And really interesting to talk to Coach Fico about Hobbs, a lefty, a rarity here in this league. You don't have very many across the 7 teams, but she is a finesse pitcher. Uses that changeup really, really well. Can mix speeds. Loves that backdoor curve as well. And now she comes in and will need to try and stop the bleeding a bit with her team trailing. 4-1 here in the top of the fourth. First batter she'll see is Schubert, who takes it in the dirt for ball 1.
Stetson.
Yeah, another Stetson. So these two will be teammates next year. Getting an early look at scrimmages, and that one hammered out to center. And that one's gone. Another home run, 2 straight solo shots here in the fourth. And the River Mocs are lighting it up right now.
Yes, they are. Big fly.
Make it 5-1, Mayaka City. And a matchup that they'll see in practice many times over the next couple years goes the way of Lizzie Schubert.
She was having a big year for Stetson this year.
Yeah, she was. 2020 was hitting .330, had 5 home runs. Had 7 as a freshman in 2018.
Yeah, big-time player.
Now base is clear yet again. Still nobody out. Here's Turgo. Off speed in for strike 1. Turgo flew out in foul ground in the second. Big swing and a miss there. Quickly 0-2. Chase pitch low. It's 5-1. River Mocs over Lynx. All 5 runs coming courtesy of the long ball. And now we've seen 7 hits against Lynx pitching. That could be number 8, but it drifts just foul. Something interesting, Ryan, as Ryan Moore is joining us here in the booth. You see these rosters who've got players from everywhere. So how were these teams compiled? Did you just kind of put everybody in a hat and draw, or did the GMs for each of these squads have to reach out? How did that go?
Sure. So each team is individually owned by its own their private company, and they hired coaches and GMs, and they would go out and recruit players. A lot of coaches and a lot of GMs actually reached out to a lot of different travel ball coaches and college coaches with contacts. And educated them on what was coming this summer. So, those coaches reached out to their players and, said, hey, would anybody be interested in playing summer collegiate softball? And, of course,
Ari Quinones grounds out for out number 2.
So, we were really just trying to recruit players that really just wanted to come, play here this summer. And it was, the COVID thing happened, and that was kind of a challenge just because it was happened at a really bad time. And but in one way it kind of helped us too, because people missed out on their years too. So it was a double-edged sword, I guess, but it became a blessing for us. And so it was easier to recruit different collegiate athletes that wanted to play softball still, so continue their season. So it turned out really well for us their way.
Gabby Benson at the plate. She got things going back in the 3rd. I've got it down as a single and then an error out in center field. Big swing and a miss there, 1-2.
Just watching these players, it's just really amazing the talent on the field. These players are super good.
Oh, misses away, and so many different levels represented as well. You've got Power 5, you've got Group of 5, you've got the smaller schools across the country and certainly across Florida as well. So that one's popped up. And Frazier is there for out number 3 to retire the side. But a big inning yet again for the River Mocs here in the top of the 4th. Erickson and Schubert back-to-back solo shots to expand the lead to 5-1 over the Lynx. And we'll see how the Lynx respond.
Yeah, to continue that conversation a little bit there, we really wanted a presence all over the country. And I don't know what the exact statistics are, but something like 50-something colleges and a lot of conferences represented from all levels, whether it's Power 5 or mid-level or JUCO. We really wanted to make it a really across-the-board type of opportunity for players. So really happy with the rosters. If you look at the rosters, you'll see a good spread from all over the United States and from different conferences and different programs, from Division I to Division II, Division III to NAIA actually. So really super proud of the spread that we have of athletes here. And it's been really special to watch. It's been really, it's been an exciting year planning for this moment, and finally here, and just to watch these girls play is a miracle.
It really is. And I mean, you look at where we were on March 12th. I quasi brought it up to Michelle, but March 12th was the day, a dark day in college softball. That was the day the Women's College World Series was canceled by the NCAA, and a lot of teams thought their seasons were over. A lot of seniors thought their careers were over. The waiver came out, and now we're getting summer softball before what should be an epic 2021 season. Devin Flaherty will get things going here in the bottom of the 4th. It's 5-1 over to second. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Maddi Davis. One hit on the day so far for the Lynx as they try and find a way to fight back. Here's Haley Lee stepping in. Cleanup hitter, grounded out back in the first and sees the first pitch in for a strike from Maddi Davis.
Texas A&M.
Yeah, during the introductions, gave her a Fightin' Texas Aggie shout-out. She fouls that one back. While I do come from Alabama and I am an Alabama graduate, I do have a lot of maroon blood in the family. So anytime I can shout out the Ags, I do it.
Yeah, Texas repping here in the Florida Gulf Coast League.
Yeah, and out of Kingwood, Texas. Pretty much been a starter her whole career. So that one out to right. And off the top of the fence, Lee will head for 2. And that's a 1-out double for Haley Lee. At any other ballpark, that might be gone, but we've got a somewhat taller fence here, probably about, what'd you say, 9, 10 feet out there?
10 feet.
So 200 all the way around, but off the top right there means Haley Lee has a stand-up double here in the bottom of the 4th. Gabby Ruiz reached on a walk back in the 2nd, and she sees strike 1 come in. Inside, 1-1. One gone, right up the middle. Off the lip, here comes Haley Lee, and she'll slide in for the 2nd run of the day for the Lynx. And Gabby Ruiz has an RBI single to make it 5-2. Now here's Abigail Morgan. Member of the pitching staff. Sees that one float in for a strike. She struck out back in the 2nd. A player that, out of my own lack of looking, didn't know hit in college at Florida Atlantic. Sees that one go high. Joan Joyce, of course, the head coach for FAU, one of the greatest softball players of all time. Getting a couple of athletes here in this league as Morgan takes that one low and inside. Gets a hold of that one out to center. And nicely done by Jansen to make the catch for out number 2. Casey Fava next up. She walked back in the 2nd. Ruiz still waiting over at first. That one low from Davis. That one back into fair territory. Easy play over at first for Leonard for out number 3. And the side is retired. Now 5-2 River Mocs. Ryan, thanks for hopping on.
Hey, listen, I got one thing to say to you. So next year you're going to help bring some Alabama Crimson Tide in the league?
I will do what I can. I will do what I can. If any of them are watching out there, expect an email very soon.
That's right. Yeah, we'd like to have the Crimson Tide rep in here next year, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for all your support, and I look forward to a great season.
For sure. Thanks for hopping on. It's Executive Director Ryan Moore of the FGCL. Hopping on for just a moment as we head to the top of the 5th, and what's been a pretty entertaining game so far to open up the FGCL. It's 5-2 River Mocs. Hopefully all you out there can pick a favorite team if you've got maybe your alma mater represented. Hop on that squad, and we've got coverage for you all summer long. 5-week regular season. We've got an all-star game and then the playoffs get going. Will we see the River Mocs or the Lynx hoist the trophy? We've got a long time until we find out. Should be a lot of fun as we get there, though, here in Bradenton. So we go to the fifth, 5-2 River Mocs here, starting with 8, 9, 10. Ford, Likens, and Famiano. Ford was hit by a pitch back in the second, facing a new pitcher of a lefty. Floats one in high for ball one. And I beg your pardon, excuse me, this is Ginder leading off the top of the fifth. Sees the 3-0 come in for a strike. We're all a little bit rusty, the players and also the broadcasters, as it's been a while since I've been in a booth personally, but it's great to see softball back here. Inaugural season of the FGCL Softball League, as that one goes straight up the chute and lands right in front of us. Full count to Ginder, who's 1 for 2 today. Singled back in the first and then popped out in the third. Big swing and a miss on the change for strike 3. Second strikeout of the day in relief for Lauren Hobbs. 1 down. And let us know where you're watching, where you're listening. Tweet us at @OutOfTheBox_pod on Twitter. Or you can tweet me. I'm at Gray, GRAY_Robertson. It's going to be a long season. We'll be here with you every step of the way as Mac Leonard stands in after fouling off the first pitch. 1 for 2. Scored a run back in the third after a single. And the 0-1 misses, 1-1. Good crowd out here. Folks sitting in the stands. A couple brought their own chairs to sit behind home plate, as that one's right back to the pitcher. And quick flip to first for out number 2. Lots of safety protocols in place as well. Folks checking the temperatures of the players and coaches before pretty much everything. Signs as well as social distancing continues to occur across the country. Similarly, Erickson fouls off the first pitch. Over on field 2, Ryan Moore was not kidding. They're in the bottom of the third, and Fast Pitch U leads the Impact 9-3. Beautiful off speed there from Hobbs. You'll be able to flip back and forth when games are going on at the same time. We've got one game coming up at 7:30. That's between the Pioneers and the Squeeze. Get to see most likely Jenna Green in the circle out of Presbyterian for the Squeeze. Pioneers have 4 really good arms, so who knows what Coach Erica Beach will go with in the circle. 1-2 outside, 2-2. Top of the 5th, it's 5-2 River Mocs. Michaela Transu, the head coach for the Miaka City River Mocs, has to be impressed with the offensive output she's seen so far. Over to third. And a nice throw from Ruiz for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Hobbs in the circle. No hits, no runs, and nobody left on base. As we head to the bottom of the 5th, 5-2 River Mocs. Lynx trying to get back in it. And off to the bottom of the 5th inning we go. It's 5-2 River Mocs over the Bradenton Lynx. Maddi Davis still working it in the circle. Two runs and 3 hits surrendered by Davis. Now here's Jalen Ford, and she knocks it out to left for a leadoff single. And the incoming freshman going to FAU next year has the Lynx in business here in the bottom of the 5th. In steps a 9-hitter, Likens. Sees a first pitch ball. Likens, I'm sure, trying to atone for the mistake in the second. Grounded into a double play with the bases loaded. Pops up the bunt. And just short of the diving attempt is Erickson over at third. One count to Likens, and that one nicked her. That's a hit by pitch. Second of the day coming from Maddi Davis. And now runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. It's 5-2 River Mocs, but the Lynx now in some business. First pitch in is a strike to Hannah Famiano. Lays down the bunt, goes foul. And 2 now to Famiano, who grounded out back in the third, 0 for 1 today. Chopped foul again. Oh, 2, swing and a miss. A skyscraper rise ball right there with a little bit of curve on it. Now Famiano goes down for out number 1. Back to the top of the order we go with Morgan Overitis. And glad to see our good friend Tara Henry tuning in. from D1 softball is Overitis. It's that one away up. Making the catch is Benson. Runners stay where they are for out number 2. Ford led off the inning with a single. Hit by pitch to Likens, put runners on first and second with nobody out. But Maddi Davis very close to getting out of a jam on her own. First pitch to Michaela Frazier is fouled back. If you're just joining us, this is the first day of the inaugural season of the FGCL Softball League. Awesome opening ceremonies today. We had Michelle Smith throw the first pitch and then join me, which was a dream come true as that one slapped out to right. Coming around to score is Ford. She's safe, and now runners on second and third for the Lynx. 2-out production to make it 5-3 here in the bottom of the 5th. River Mocs lead at 5-3. Runners on second and third. Likens is over there at third. And here's Devin Flaherty out of Florida State, looking for her first hit of the league, and she takes strike 1. Change just misses. Flaherty, a player we saw when Alabama traveled to Tallahassee this year. Went 1 for 5 in that series, part of a .333 freshman campaign for Lonnie Alameda's squad. Florida State, a team with lots of talented youngsters on the roster. And, of course, always a threat in the ACC, a conference that is getting better, has gotten better over the last couple of years, especially with the rise of Virginia Tech, as that one misses a bit high. And now Kaylee Erickson will go out and chat with Maddi Davis. Five hits surrendered by Davis so far. 3 runs. All earned, and really hasn't given up that big hit quite yet, as the Lynx have put a couple things together in some of these innings, but nothing to really get back in this game. A single up the middle could change that, though. 3-1 pitch to Flaherty. Runners on second and third, and that walk will load the bases. Two gone, bases loaded. It's 5-3 River Mocs. Haley Lee at the plate. First pitch in for a strike. Lee on the day, 1 for 2. Doubled and scored back in the 4th. That one tomahawked over to third, and a quick step on the bag for Erickson to retire the side. Second time in this game. The Lynx have had the bases loaded but could not do anything with it. And it's 5-3. As we head to the top of the 6th. River Mocs lead it, and they'll try and get a couple more here on opening day of the Florida Gulf Coast League. Off to the top of the 6th we go. And for the Lynx, some changes in the field, which will be a lot of fun as we try and parse where everybody is. Out in left, it's Kaylee Evans, incoming freshman going to USC Upstate. Out in center, Sajari Jones, redshirt freshman last year out of Pensacola State. And out in right, Casey Fava moving from left to right. Overitis is now at second. Flaherty still over at short. And Ruiz still at third. We'll reset the defense in just a moment. As Jenny Jansen out of Southern Illinois steps up. 1 for 2 on the day. Singled back in the second. That one right to short. And that one eats her up. Tough play for Flaherty. We'll see how it's scored. But either way, Jensen is on to start off the 6th with her team leading things 5-3. First pitch in to Kaylee Erickson, misses for ball 1. Swing and a miss there. One over to second. Chance to turn 2. Got her. And after the defensive miscue, nice work by the new infield of Overitis at second, Flaherty at short, and Ford at first. 4-6-3, and there's 2 down. Nice work by the Lynx defense, and now here's Schubert. Out to center. It's gone. How about a second solo shot of the day for Lizzie Schubert off of her future teammate, Lauren Hobbs, in the circle. Hobbs is going to Stetson next year, and Schubert, a little bit more experience, a little bit more age, says, youngster, we'll teach you a thing or two when you join the team. And it's 6-3 now. River Mocs after the bomb by Schubert. And from an analytical standpoint, how huge was the double play all of a sudden by the Lynx infield to make sure that wasn't more than just one run coming up on the board? Turgo steps in. First pitch in for a strike, running away from her. Turgo flew out, well hit, out in foul territory in the second. Struck out looking in the 4th. It's big swing and a miss on the off speed. Again, if you want to get in on the conversation, let us know where in the world you're watching, listening, whether it's on YouTube or however else we're available. Let us know. You can tweet me. I'm at @Gray_Robertson. We'd love to hear from all of you out there tuning in. One, two. Nice snag by Lee. 2-2. It's 6-3 now. River Mocs here in the top of the 6th. Just got a piece of that one. Hard foul, but everybody's fine. It remains 2-2. And the off speed gets her again low in the zone. Second strikeout for Turgo. And the third K in the circle for Hobbs in relief. Retiring the side, headed to the bottom of the sixth. It is 6-3 now, River Mocs. Lynx need to make up some ground. And we head to the bottom of the sixth. New pitcher in the circle for the River Mocs is number 34, Sarah Handrahan, junior last year at Nebraska Kearney. Right-hander from Festus, Missouri. 2.51 ERA in the shortened 2020 season. And the first pitch she throws comes in for a strike. To Gabby Ruiz, 1 for 1 today. Singled and drove in a run in the fourth, also walked back in the second, but was stranded at third. Nice off speed in for strike two. Give you Maddi Davis's final line in just a moment. One, two, out to left. And just off the glove of Turgo. It's a long single for Ruiz, who is still perfect on the day. Now 2 for 2. And the leadoff man is on for the Lynx here in the bottom of the sixth, trying to get some magic going with the rally. Now we'll see what the 6-hole hitter Abigail Morgan can do. Runner at first. It's 6-3 River Mocs, the Lynx, the home team. 6 outs to play with here in this game. First pitch in for a strike to Morgan. 0 for 2 today. Struck out in the second. Flew out to center in the fourth. Final line for Maddi Davis, the starter for the River Mocs. 5 innings, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, gave up 5 hits, and 3 runs sprinkled across a couple innings. One and 2 to Morgan. Fouled off. Lynx looking for some hits to string together. They had a couple in the 5th. Or rather, one in the 5th with 2 outs, and then a walk from Flaherty with runners on 2nd and 3rd. The 1-2. That one out to left. Way back. And out of here. And the power party continues as Abigail Morgan hits a 2-run shot. And all of a sudden, that River Mocs lead is down to 1. 6-5 now, River Mocs. After the bomb from Morgan, sophomore last year, attending Florida Atlantic out of nearby Monticello, Florida. I think it's nearby. I'm from Alabama. I don't know. Now the base is clear. Nobody out. And just a 1-run deficit for the Lynx, who've done a nice job fighting back. It's Fava at the plate. First pitch misses away. Fava walked in the 2nd, grounded out to the pitcher in the 4th. Lots of Stetson and UCF represented here in this game, and Fava's got a little of both. Played at Stetson her first couple of years of college, transferred to UCF where she hit .250 in 2020. Beautiful off speed from Handerhan. Handerhan, a player whose go-to is the rise ball. Swing and a miss pitch, though, is that changeup that you just saw. She's got a screw, fastball, and a curveball in the arsenal as well, and there's that rise, missing high for ball 3. A pitcher that River Mocs head coach Michaela Transu is really excited about. Transu, of course, the volunteer assistant at Missouri. Played for Larissa Anderson at Hofstra, then followed her to Columbia. So that one comes in for a low strike, full count. Transu pretty successful playing for the Pride as well. On the infield for Coach Anderson, redshirted in 2017 to come back for her senior year in 18, where she was all Colonial Athletic Association. And that time Fava's correct. It's a walk on the full count ball, and Fava will stand over at first. She is the game-tying run here in the bottom of the 6th. We've seen 6 home runs in this game. That won't be number 7, out to right. And Benson is there for out number 1 as Ford pops out. So 1 gone here, bottom of the 6th. It's 6-5 River Mocs. We're glad you're joining us here. Opening day, inaugural season of the Florida Gulf Coast League. You'll get to know these players and these teams well over the next 5 weeks and change as we bring you softball action at the collegiate level back yet again. First pitch comes in to the Lynx. New hitter who went out and was playing center field in the last inning, Sajari Jones. Redshirt freshman out of Pensacola State. That one misses. Jones calls Cape Coral home. North Fort Myers High School former player, and in 2020 for Pensacola State, off to a red-hot start, hit .370, .417 on-base percentage. Love to get on base here. Right now not getting a pitch to hit. Slapped back foul. Two and two to Sajari Jones. It's 6-5 River Mocs here in the bottom of the sixth, and now a quick huddle on the infield for Miyaka City. These young ladies arrived earlier in the week, all of them staying in a hotel. And they've had scrimmages, they've had a couple days in the cages, but really the first solo practice for all 7 of these teams was last night. Well, I say all 7. We don't know where Fast Pitch U has been and what they've been doing, but the other 6 have had their first practices, or had their first practices last night. Still getting to know each other, still trying to find that team chemistry, but whoever can find it first probably had the most success early on in this league. That one misses outside for ball 3. Lynx trailed 5-1 earlier in this game. Now just trail by 1. Up the middle, tough play. No way, you'll get the fast and speedy Sajari Jones. She beats it out on what I would call an infield single. Fava heads to second, and with 1 down, the game-tying run stands at second base for Kaylee Evans. Evans in the previous inning went out and replaced Fava and left. First pitch in for a strike. If you can see us on the video stream, we're in the press box right behind home plate, a little elevated. Watching the action here at Palmasola Park. Quickly 0-2 to Evans. Incoming freshman going to USC Upstate out of Naples, Florida as a senior, hit .465 in 9 games played. Another unfortunate casualty of the COVID-19 crisis. A lot of high school seniors didn't get to play their seasons. So that one misses outside. A little bit of looseness out on the field. One-two count to Evans. Way upstairs on the off speed from Handrahan. 2-2 now. Swing and a miss. Got her on the rise for out number 2. But back to the top of the order we go with the always dangerous Morgan Overitis. Solo home run on a full count pitch in the first. 2 flyouts, pretty deep in the 3rd and 5th. Here she is in the 6th. The base hit most likely ties this game at 6. First pitch misses for ball 1. One-0 finds the edge. Unfortunately, we do not have the umpires' names, but I can't believe I'm saying this. I actually really like the strike zone I'm seeing behind the plate. It's nice and big, giving the pitchers a lot of wiggle room to make some mistakes here in their first game. I say that, of course, and a very tight ball that just misses a bit outside. Might have been a bit high. 2-1, and taking third is Fava. After a couple odd throws from Erickson behind the dish to Handrahan, and now there will be a meeting in the circle with Michaela Transu heading out there to make sure everything's all right. We are glad that you are with us. Opening day of the Florida Gulf Coast League softball edition. There's a game going on the other field. We'll get an update for that in just a moment. Over here at Field 1, it's 6-5 River Mocs, but the Lynx, the home team, and they've got a runner 60 feet away with 2 outs. And we've got that update over on Field 2. It's 9-8 fast pitch U over the Impact, bottom of the 4th with the bases loaded. So all the drama already here on day 1. Meeting adjourned. Overitis sees that one miss. 3-1. Overitis joining Pete DeMore at Virginia Tech in 2021. Sees that pitch on the outside corner for strike 2. Again, personally, I like it from the home plate umpire. Bigger strike zone again. You know, these pitchers haven't faced competition in 3 months. Give them a little wiggle room the first time out. Up in the air and fouled back. Not sure what's happening on Field 2, but so far my car has avoided any collisions from any foul balls, thank goodness. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Lynx trying to tie this game up here in the bottom of the 6th. Payoff pitch. Going as the runner, poked out to short. It'll be a tough play, and there's nothing that Ginder over at short can do. And Overitis executes. And we're tied up here in the bottom of the 6th on the single from the Virginia Tech Hokie. Ruiz comes in to score. Fava comes in to score. And Jones now stands on second. And now she's the run that would give the Lynx the lead. They haven't had the lead since it was 1-0 back in the first. This is Michaela Frazier. She drove in a run with a double. And just avoids getting hit there for ball 2. That double came back in the 5th. She's 1 for 3 today. Base hit will give the Lynx the lead, most likely with Jones out there on second. Handrahan needs to dig deep. Change misses. And for whatever reason, difficulty from Kaylee Erickson getting the ball out. Could be perhaps the heat, making the hands a little sweaty. I know I'm hot up here in the press box. The 3-0. Inside for ball 4, and the bases are loaded for the Lynx yet again in this game. Nothing going over in the River Mocs bullpen. So this one's on Sarah Handerhand to figure out on her own. Now going up against Devin Flaherty from Florida State. And Flaherty sees a first pitch ball. We're tied up at 6. Bottom of the 6th. Lynx looking for the lead. That one misses low. Jones is over at third. Overitis at second. And Frazier is standing at first. 2-1 pitch to Flaherty, swing and a miss on the off speed, 2-2. Good to have some drama here in the first game on field 1. And remember, we've got more coming up after this. It's the Squeeze and the Pioneers, two of the teams that I think are going to be right up there at the end. 2-2. Popped up. Ginder comes over and makes the play for out number 3, and the bases are left loaded once again. Three runs on 4 hits in that inning for the Lynx. We are tied at 6 going to the 7th here on day 1 of the Florida Gulf Coast Softball League here in Bradenton, Florida. We head to the top of the 7th. The River Mocs had a 5-1 lead way back in the 4th inning. But the power has been silenced by Lauren Hobbs. Other than her future teammate, Lizzie Schubert, the River Mocs haven't really been able to get anything off of the incoming freshman going to play at Stetson next year, and now they'll try and put something on the board before the Lynx have a chance to win it. It's 8-9-10. Excuse me, 8-9-1. Quinones, Benson, and Ginder. Quinones 0 for 2. First pitch low for ball 1. From what we understand, it will be international tiebreak rules here. Getting confirmation on that. Pretty much all the rules are the same as college, other than, of course, as we talked about, the 10 in the batting order. And then as we spoke with Michelle Smith about, the 2 bags over at first, that safety bag. That one just misses from Hobbs. Thankfully, we have not seen any out-of-the-box calls yet, or else I'll have to get on my soapbox about that rule. But it's, it's a long season. We'll get there. 2-0 to Quinones. Bit high, 3-0. And we do have confirmation it is international tiebreak rules. So what that means is the team will start with a runner on second and then just try and find a way to get her around. That one floats in for a strike, 3-1. We're tied up at 6, top of the 7th. Lynx, River Mocs. battling it out here on field 1. And that one's popped up by Quinones. Could be trouble. Nicely done by Overitis, calling everybody off for out number 1. Gabby Benson in, sees a first pitch strike. Benson reached on a single, and a fielding error helped her get to second base. That was back in the 3rd, popped out in the 4th, and now is down 0-2. Facing the second pitcher of the day, Lauren Hobbs, who's really making a case for moving up in the rotation for the Lynx. One, two, out to left, drifting foul. Evans unable to get there. One, two. This is low, 2-2. Straight up the chute. And Haley Lee has the catch for out number 2. Two gone here in the top of the 7th inning. We're still tied up at 6. Back to the top of the order we go with Claire Ginder. She sees a first pitch ball. Ginder singled in the 1st, part of a 1-for-3 day for her. And now ahead in the count 2-0. Chase the rise, 2-1. We've seen Hobbs use the change really well, but the rise ball has been effective. 2-1 to Ginder, fouled off, 2-2. Due up for the Lynx. In the bottom of the 7th, it's 4-5-6 if we get to that point. As we've just hit the 2-hour mark here in this game. 2-2. Swing and a miss. And Hobbs wheeling and dealing. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Bradenton Lynx can walk it off. Opening day of the FGCL Softball League, and some drama over here on field 1 as the River Mocs will try and take it to extras here to open the season. we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Lynx can walk it off, tied up at 6 here against the River Mocs after Mayaka City took a 5-1 lead back in the 4th. Power, base hits, all of the above got the Lynx back in this game. And now they'll send 4, 5, 6 up to try and win this game against Handerhan, the second pitcher of the day for the River Mocs. One adjustment, as far as we know, out in the field, and that's behind the dish. Mullis now catching. That's Alyssa Mullis out of Georgia Southern. Haley Lee is at the plate. She's 1 for 3 today. Doubled and scored in the 4th. Against Handerhan, who was roughed up a bit in the 6th. Lee tried to end it right there. Fouled off that one. Haley Lee, a player who's been pretty much a consistent starter since she arrived at A&M. Started in 75 of 78 games that she's played. Had 5 home runs in 2020 before that season was shut down. .324 average. That one misses, 1-1. The 1-1 to Lee. Up in the air. Schubert lets it drop, and Lee will head to second, and that one gets away. If the throw's in time, they've got her dead to rights at 2, but instead Lee slides in on the miscue. And she stands at second with what I believe is technically a leadoff double since Schubert never touched the ball. But it's a mental error at worst, or at best, I should say, for Schubert. Either way, Lee is at second. For the record, if I were inventing the rules, I would probably call that an E4, but we'll see how it's scored by whoever is actually officially scoring this. Either way, Haley Lee's at second, and she's the game-winning run with Gabby Ruiz stepping up to the plate, and Ruiz has had quite a day. First pitch to Ruiz, swing and a miss. And we do have confirmation. It is an error on Schubert over at second. And then Lee advanced on the same error. So we'll get all that logistically figured out. But either way, bottom line, Haley Lee's at second. There's nobody out. We're tied at 6. River Mocs and Lynx. Ruiz at the plate. She's 2 for 2 today. That one misses. Nice off-speed pitch from Handerhan for the strike. Ruiz singled, scored on the home run back in the 6th. Singled, drove in a run in the 4th. Also walked and got to third in the 2nd. Up in the air. Schubert calling for it. Makes the catch for out number 1. And a big response by Lizzie Schubert over at second to retire Ruiz. New hitter coming in for the Lynx That's Mackenzie Woods, incoming freshman going to North Florida. She pinch hits for Morgan, who had that 2-run homer back in the 6th. And time called by Mullis behind the dish to go and chat, to give her time to go chat with Handerhan. Mullis behind the plate, junior last year from Georgia Southern out of Juliet, Georgia. 98 games played in her career, and she started in 94 of them. Solid 2020. Was hitting .255 with a .321 OBP. Now trying to help out her pitcher as we get going once again. Fouled back. Nine hits today for the Lynx. 8 of them have come in the 4th through 6th inning, and a base hit here would probably win it. That one misses away. Haley Lee is the base runner at second. Mackenzie Woods, the pinch hitter, at the plate. That one misses inside. It's 3-1 now. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Tied up, River Mocs and Lynx. In on the hands, and the count runs full. Got an update over on field 2. The Impact now lead Fast Pitch U 12-9 of the top of the 6th. That was a game Fast Pitch U led 9-3 in the 3rd. Payoff to Woods, floats in and gets her looking for out number 2. Beautiful pitch from Handrahan, and she's almost out of this jam. Lynx will try and get the walk-off from Fava. 2 down, bottom of the 7th, tied at 6. Fava sees the rise run high. Fava is 0 for 1, but has reached base twice via the walk. Handrahan starting to settle down just a bit. Probably should be out of this inning if it weren't for the mistake out in the field on the Lee pop-up. As Fava swings and misses there. Here's the 1-1. Fouled off, 1-2. And remember, folks, if we do go to extras, which we might need to make sure the 2 fields are on time, or at least on track to end at around the same time, we have the international tiebreaker rules, which means you start out with nobody out but a runner on second, and then you just go until somebody wins. The 1-2. Just missed. Might be one of the first times we've seen a little controversy on a ball strike call here today. Probably won't be the last as we see this league unfold. The 2-2. That one floats in and gets her looking for the 2nd strikeout in a row from Sarah Handrahan to strand Haley Lee at second and send us to extra innings. Well, the FGCL Softball League's been a long time coming. Why not wait a little bit longer to find out who wins Game 1? Tied up at 6, headed to the 8th. It'll be international rules at Palmasola Park. And we'll see how things unfold as we've got our first game of the tournament, and of the league, I should say, going a little more than the distance. Well, we head to the top of the 8th inning. Little free softball here. It was already free for the people in attendance and for you watching, so now you just get a little extra. As we've got extras between the Lynx and the River Mocs. Apparently they're still trying to confirm if we're actually doing international tiebreak rules. Again, that would mean a runner goes straight to second. Either way, warming up in the circle for yet another inning of relief is Lauren Hobbs, incoming freshman going to Stetson. She has been very impressive. Hobbs came on in the 4th, has given up 2 hits, both home runs to a future teammate in Lizzie Schubert, and nothing else. And now the River Mocs will try and get something going. Claire Ginder, who struck out in the 7th, will be the runner at second. That's what happens. The last batter in the previous inning is the runner who goes out to second, and Mac Leonard in the 2 spot. We'll try and find a way to get her around against Hobbs, who has been largely unhittable since coming on in relief. Leonard did lay down a nice infield single and a bunt in the 3rd. She lays down bunt again. Tough play. Hobbs, the throw to first, is in time. But Ginder advances. And the 1-4 putout means there's 1 gone. Tied up at 6, top of the 8th. Lynx and River Mocs. Claire Ginder over at third, 60 feet away from giving the River Mocs back the lead. Here's Emily Erickson. First pitch. Floats in for strike 1. One for 3 day for Erickson, but that one was a 3-run homer back in the 3rd. Off speed gets her to foul it off, and quickly down 0-2. Misses high, 1-2. Again, folks, coming up on this field, whenever we're done, it'll be the Pioneers and the Squeeze. A lot of talent on those 2 teams. It'll be a really fun game. Impact and Fast Pitch U in a real thriller over on field 2. So overall, pretty strong day that began with opening ceremonies and Michelle Smith throwing a perfect strike on the first pitch. Be a tough play, but Lee has it no problem. For out number 2. Ginder stays at third. 2 gone for the cleanup hitter, Jenny Jansen. Jansen is 1 for 3 by my book. We'll see if we can get official scoring on it. Singled in the 2nd, reached on an error in the 6th. Sees that one go low for ball 1. But a talented player, first team All-Missouri Valley in 2019, as we've talked about. Here's a reason she's batting in the 4 spot. Chance to drive in a run and give the River Mocs the lead. That went in 1-1. Tied up at 6, top of the 8th. On the flip side, in the bottom half, it'll be 8, 9, 10 for the Lynx. That one off the glove of Ruiz. Ginder will score, and the River Mocs have regained the lead here in the top of the 8th on a hard hit ball by Jenny Jansen. (7-6) now, River Mocs against the Lynx. I'd call that a base hit from Jansen. And now she stands at first. Ball gets away from Lee. Jansen does a little dance and heads back to first. So it's 7-6 River Mocs. Lynx will have to respond in the bottom half. River Mocs looking to get a couple more. That one fouled back by Alyssa Mullis, who replaced Kaylee Erickson earlier in the game. First at bat of the year for Mullis, and she goes way too far around on that one. And she got fooled by the change, 1-2. And that one finds its way through. Mullis with the 2-out base hit. And Jensen heads to second as the River Mocs try and keep it going. It was officially called an error on the Lynx that allowed Jansen to reach. We might contest that one later on. We'll see. Either way, Jansen's now at second. Mullis at first. River Mocs lead by 1, looking for more as Schubert takes strike 1. Foul back, 0-2. Schubert is 2 for 3 today against her future teammate who's in the circle right now, Lauren Hobbs for the Lynx. She's 2 for 2 with 2 home runs, both of the solo variety, but a home run here would put a lot of pressure on the Lynx offense. Just got a piece. Way outside. 1-2. Hobbs has done great work in relief, but now starting to see the tensions rise just a bit after 2 straight hard hit balls. River Mocs lead at 7-6 here in the top of the 8th. Fouled off. This game, of course, part of our coverage for the rest of the summer. And there will be a lot of coverage. We'll have guest color analysts coming in, like the legendary Michelle Smith. Again, she can come back anytime she likes. Perhaps we'll hear Tara Henry on the call at some point. This one goes high, 2-2. Gray Robertson here. Beyond thrilled and honored to bring you this first game of the FGCL. 7-6 River Mocs. That one hit out to left, and it's just foul by about a foot. Schubert so close to putting at least one more run on the board. But instead it's just a long strike, 2-2. Too high, count goes full. Outside, bases loaded. Schubert is walked. And out comes Lindsay Fico to chat with Hobbs, who is showing some cracks for the first time since she came in. Jansen drove in the run on a hard hit ball over on the left side with 2 outs. All this is happening with 2 outs, folks. And then we saw a single from Mullis, a walk from Schubert. And now the pressure is on the Lynx hurler Hobbs. Going up against Maggie Turgo, who's looking for her first base hit of the summer season. Hobbs has struck her out twice. 0 for 3 on the day. And a promising start for Hobbs, who smiles at that one, 0-1. That one right back up the middle. That'll score 1. Here comes 2. The throw in. Uh-oh, we've got trouble here. The throw gets away from Ruiz. A run scored, and a throw to second will get Schubert, who rounded second and then ran right into her teammate, Mullis, who looked like she was going home and then stopped. But either way, a run does score on what will be a nightmare for whoever's trying to keep track of that one. Either way, it's 8-6 River Mocs on the RBI single by Turgo. And it's now time for the Lynx to try and either win it or keep it going in the bottom of the 8th. Extra innings, international tiebreak rules. And the Bradenton Lynx will try and respond after the River Mocs get 2 in the top half here at Palmasola Park. We head to the bottom of the 8th, and a new pitcher in the circle for the River Mocs to try and close this one out. Mac Leonard moving from first to the circle, which will be so fun as we figure everything else out. Schubert is over at first now. Quinones is at second, so she just slides right into the lineup. And that should pretty much be it for the River Mocs defense. It's 8-6 Miaka City, leading the Bradenton Lynx. And the Lynx will go 8-9-10 here in the bottom of the 8th. Again, runner will start at second. International tiebreak rules. And then obviously basic math as to how we'll get a winner. 2 runs by the Lynx in this inning. We keep on going. And I have to get ready to make a new scorecard. 3 runs and the Lynx walk it off. Anything less than the 2. And the River Mocs start the FGCL softball season 1-0. And again, folks, if you're tuning in for the Squeeze Pioneers game, that'll come eventually. We'll get there. But right now, a lot of drama here on Field 1. Fava will be the runner that starts out at second. Again, it is 8, 9, 10 for the Lynx here in the bottom half. Starting off with Ford. Ford today 1 for 2. See if she lays down the sacrifice to move Fava 60 feet. She won't, instead sees a first pitch strike. Ford singled in the 5th, reached on a hit by pitch in the 2nd. As runners left on base will be a story for the Lynx today. That one gets away from Mullis behind the plate, and taking third is Fava. As Mac Leonard's pitch went a bit high. Mac Leonard is that change, rise, screw, and curve. She loves the drop and can throw it on both sides. That one right to first. And charging, smart play by the new first baseman Schubert to come up and get forward on her own and charge to make sure that Fava didn't get any ideas about going home. 1 down. Mac Leonard in the circle has what Coach Michaela Transu called a knuckleball. Wonder if we'll see that today as that one runs away for a strike. 0-1. To Sajari Jones. Single drove in a run that tied this game back in the 6th. A single would make it a 1-run deficit here in the bottom of the 8th. Just misses. 1-1. Leonard was off to a good start pitching-wise in 2020. 3.70 ERA and 41 2/3, 3-2 record. Sophomore last year out of Illinois State. Throws the 1-1 in for a strike. Jones didn't like it, but we've seen the big strike zone today from the home plate umpire. Chopped foul. Five at third, 1 down, 8-6 River Mocs. Swing and a miss for out number 2. Big pitch from Mac Leonard. And now a first pitch ball to Kaylee Evans, the last chance for the Lynx. Trailing 8-6. But keep in mind, the River Mocs got both of their runs in the top half of this 8th inning with 2 outs. Pretty much an exact situation as we have now. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Evans struck out when she entered the game back in the 6th inning. The 1-1, a bit high. Briefly got away from Mullis. Fouled off. And the Lynx down to their final strike. Two to Evans in the dirt, and the count runs full. Payoff, swing and a miss, and that'll do it. Wonderful pitch on the outside from Mac Leonard to close it out. And the River Mocs begin their season 1-0 after an 8-6 victory over the Bradenton Lynx. And they'll do the social distancing wave, keeping up with regulations here in the state of Florida. But the River Mocs get the victory. Mac Leonard will get the win. The third pitcher of the day. And the losing pitcher, hard luck loss for the Lynx, is Lauren Hobbs. And that'll do it for the opening game here at Field 1. Game 2 coming up shortly. First time we've seen a doubleheader, so who knows how quick it'll be, but we'll get to Game 2 very soon between the Squeeze and the Pioneers after a fascinating and very exciting Game 1. River Mocs start off the season 1-0 and beat the Lynx 8-6. Second part of a doubleheader here at Field 1 coming up, Squeeze and Pioneers here on Day 1 of the FGCL Summer Softball League.